Okay, a lot of loopy lot lines because the arbs that were nice sentinels along the lot lines look like this now.
Boy, there are a lot of them.
Right. And there's two problems going on in this particular hedge. It's very tall for somebody to be trying to prop those back up. And they've had too many leaders for so long that they're one-sided branches. So if you look at this one right here, all of its foliage is on one side.
I mean, it's no wonder it flopped.
Yep. All the snow hung on one side. If it was a one-branched, one-trunked arborvitae, it would have green on both sides.
This guy almost, you know.
And every time it got snow on it, it would lean to the heavy side, drop that snow. Now the other side would be heavier. It would lean that way. It would shed its own snow. But instead, we let them grow so that they shade out each other in the interior. So there are two things to do. Yes, you can tie them up. A number of people have asked us about that this week. Yes, you can get up there and tie them up if you can do that. But you are now going to have to keep rechecking those restraints because these plants are still growing and the trunks are getting to be bigger diameter. And if you cut into the trunks with something you've tied, you're going to kill the top of the plant. The better thing to do, and better to do it younger than these, is to find the main trunk. See the bigger trunk in the center there? You can see it there. Find the main trunk and cut out the other trunks and side branches.
Do it early.
It'll look bare for a while, but those greens that you see next to
There's
the
a lot
stem
of greens still
will grow
there.
out and around, and then it will be balanced again. But if you don't do that, you're stuck forever trying to manage a plant that weighs more than your whole family put together.
Yeah.
And wants to lean down. Now those are going to straighten up to a certain extent as the sap rises, as they really get pumping liquid. They'll straighten up somewhat, but not all the way. So do it younger if you can. Here's extra tops.
Whoops.
Extra tops forming on Audrey's arborvitae. And I did the same thing as with the bird's nest spruce. I traced them back down into the plant. It leaves a little bit of a gully there, fills in no time at all. And then you don't have that problem of a bare top waving around, a one-sided top waving around in the air. This one splayed. I said, no, I'm not propping it back up or tying it up, Sue. I took them out. They're gone. And this is the Sonia has already dropped the the link to go to this article into the chat menu right now. It looked like a belly, like everything was missing from it, but just a month later, it's already filling in, no problem.
Yeah.
So Sonia's dropped that URL into the chat already. Now, if they've uprooted, so this one next to the house might not straighten itself back up, and I would not prop it. I would cut it.
Yep.
Because it's too tall for that house anyway.
It's a dangerous.
Sometimes they come out of the ground because they're not planted very well. I mean, look at this planting.
Those are
I'm surprised that they didn't all die over the winter. But I guess I'd rather that they planted a little high and die than be planted like this one. So this one also peeled away from the side of the house and it went all the way over. But look, it's one-sided against the house. How could it grow a backside? And you've heard us say this so many times. Yeah, I'm sure you're tired of hearing it. It was planted too deep. See where the soil was?
Way up here.
Up here. And you're looking at, not here, you can better see how high up the soil was. It was all the way up here where Steve's got his pointer hanging around right there.
Right there.
Yeah. And into that soil, whoops, it grew adventitious roots, the little skinny roots you see. There's one right there, and this one coming right across. It was trying to support itself on little skinny roots, and its flare roots were not growing because it was planted too deep in the ground. So check the depth of your arborvitae. If you're going to pick one back up that's in pretty good shape and it rolled out of the ground, when you put it back in, you might want to set it a little bit higher, because that's how most of them end up in trouble. Okay, I think we've made it far enough here. We can actually relax and say we're 6 minutes ahead of time and we're going to stop on time. I was told this week, they said, well, we go till 10-ish. Jackie said 10-ish. Yes, I said we try to stop at 10. Can you divide bulbs now? Yes.
We another referral that I can make to a different webinar. Pat's asking about a particular type of saw or tool we should be using to cut the 1-inch plus branch of the arborvitaes. In any of our pruning webinars, we'll always talk about tools, but also webinar number 3, way back. Oh, wow, that was so long ago, is just on tools. And it's a free webinar, but so I've dropped that link in if you're not a subscriber, but I think you should subscribe and get all of the pruning and tools webinars that are out there in the library. Next is Carol says, those arbs, the floppy arbs, look like my old arbs. Can I take out some of the old leads now, or is it too late?
Oh, definitely
No,
take them out now. It's not too late. If the one that you leave still stays bent over, you can always shorten that one, or you can prop it up. I put a crutch underneath the one that I showed you that's in the article, and it shows you in the article where I put it. I propped it up and then took the prop out afterwards.
Yeah, and so that answers Debbie's question too about is it too late to prune like you suggest? Absolutely, go ahead and do it now, Debbie.
And actually, Monday is going to be the first day in a week that's good to prune, because it's going to be above freezing night and day.
That we looked at the weather yesterday.
Yeah, we'll see.
And dry, always as a reminder that you're looking for non-wet days to prune. Mary Lou is asking, can I prune down a smaller globe arborvitae that got larger than I planned? Sure.
Oh, definitely. But you need to cut the arborvitae back to side branches. There is, I didn't pull out the URL for that one. There is a what's coming up newsletter that covers cutting back an arborvitae and shows an arborvitae coming back from a very severe cut where we cut it back to just little tiny green buds. So if it's healthy, it'll come back from those green buds, but it's not going to come back from brown wood. So if it's brown, if you can't see any green buds anywhere on it, cut the whole branch out and see what it does.
Great. And then Teresa has a hand up.
Teresa?
Hi guys. A quick question on the arborvitae. So just trying to understand, when you cut the main trunk back for height control, does that main trunk continue to grow from the bottom to get height back, or do side branches grow up over top of what you've cut off?
The latter. The side branches grow up, so it develops a new leader. So when you cut back the top of an arborvitae, you then have to pinch back some of those and select the leader that you want to grow, and probably check up into the summer to make sure that that leader made it and something else hasn't popped up instead.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Good question. Very good question.
Another hand up for Janet.
Yep, from Janet.
Yeah, today, well, at my area, so we're talking 5, 6, there's a sprinkling of snow, which has stopped. Does that mean pruning is not acceptable because it's a little bit of snow, or is this okay to prune?
If there's if the snow is dry and it blows off, if you get a bit of a wind and it's just like after a rain, if the branches are dry, you're okay.
It's going down to 18 tonight.
Going down to 18 tonight. So, well, you could prune on something like a deciduous plant, hydrangeas and euonymus, things that don't have disease problems, but don't prune any evergreens hard right now. I wouldn't do that Norway spruce we were talking about, not when it's going to go down to 18. That's too precipitous a drop. Wait until Monday. I'm going out this afternoon to do some pruning demos for people, but we're not actually going to prune because it's too cold. We set the date and hoped for a thaw. It's been an uncooperative winter for thaws. There have been thaws, but they've been wet.
I'm talking about that Japanese maple in the back that's protected by the garage.
Oh, and that's a deciduous plant that you're not really going to be exposing the interior of the plant to.
Right.
Go right ahead and take that off now.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And I think we are 1 minute from 10 a.m. and I think we have run through everything on the list.
To ask you quick, I have 4 amaryllis that I planted the same way, and 2 shut up within days with long stems. They're in full bloom, and the other 2 are not doing anything, and I don't think they ever will bloom. What am I doing wrong?
Are they amaryllis, you say? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. it's possible that the bulb was not treated properly before. Are they bulbs that you've kept over the winter, or are they bulbs you purchased?
No, they're already several years old.
Yeah, they need a certain amount of resting time. That's why they tell us to take the amaryllis. If you like, some people that we know grow them outside in the garden in the summer. And if you do that, then along about August, you need to stop watering them, take them out of the soil, put them in a pot or something, so that they go dormant, because they need to be dormant by, I think it's the 3rd week of September, or they don't get enough of a rest period for the chemicals inside their cells to change to the blooming condition. So it might be that you're growing them too long and not holding them long enough. How do you hold them over the winter?
I put them in the basement in about September. I put them in the fruit cellar where it's totally dark.
And
Then this year, I didn't take them out until after Christmas. I forgot. But like I said, 2 of them just shut up and the other two are not doing anything.
did you grow them outside when they were in active growth? Were they growing outside or inside?
No, I had them during the, remember I had that problem with the worm going in there and eating
Exactly,
the
yeah,
bulbs.
that narcissus bulb fly, yeah.
And since then, I do not put them outside until past July 10th. And
Okay.
since I've been doing that, and nothing eats the bulbs anymore.
Oh,
But
that's
then
great.
They have to go out because I got to get the plants out of the house.
Right, and
So
it doesn't
they
seem good
are
to get that.
outside.
Yeah,
And some years I put them in the ground, and some years I put them in the pot, leave them in a pot.
and
And
your timing sounds right, and I'm glad that the bulb fly is not there anymore. But did you take the ones that didn't bloom, did you take them out of the pot and inspect the bulb?
no, I did not. They're still in the pot on the north window. And the other ones are in full bloom now. Those I put on the kitchen table now.
I think I would depot them myself and see if there's any damage to the bulb. Maybe the growing point got damaged by something. I'm not sure what it could be, but there's no reason why, if you brought them in September and you left them in the non-growing state, resting, and they're in pots that they've bloomed in once before, they should be able to bloom again. So I can't tell you anything without, you could always send me a picture of it. If you can just send it by mail if you want to, but send me a picture of what the bulb looks like, and I'll see if I can find somebody to talk to who grows amaryllis bulbs
Oh,
professionally.
you mean you'd like a picture of the bulb, not of the greenery, just the
Right,
bulb?
just the bulb. Yeah.
So, okay, I will undig them then.
Come on back next week. We're going to use the same format next week with as many questions as people send us, and you can send us pictures.
And you got a sneak preview of some of the stuff.
and we will see you then. Thanks a lot.
Take
Sonia,
care, everyone.
for taking us into your indoor garden too. That was especially nice.
Yeah.
So that's it for our weekend walkabout called In Our Gardens at Equinox. And we're very glad that you come to gardenaz.org for information. We get a lot of information just from the questions that you ask. So ask the questions, please do. Next Saturday, we're going to use the same format. We'll be using our observations, tips, and your questions. So if you would like to send us the questions in advance with some photos, even better,
free.
then we know what we're looking at. And please consider subscribing to our webinars if you're not a regular subscriber.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for being here.